Okay, hey, so this is an interesting movie. It's got James Cameron attached to it. First of all, it's got a big budget, and it's got some heavy visual effects around a girl who fights bad robots. Only James Cameron could do a movie like this, and it's strange because we don't know anything about this girl, and we're left to judge whether we like the movie or whether we like this girl. She didn't really convince me, and I'm guessing I'm not the only one. It's hard to get used to the CGI girl. I found it kinda boring at first. For some reason, it just didn't grab me. Like when you see Nicole Kidman getting attacked in Aquaman. With that, I was like, I have to see it. There's some really cool stuff here from the future in the city, but it's about this girl who doesn't seem that exciting. And the movie's directed by Robert Rodriguez, not James Cameron. James Cameron wrote the original version and produced it. James didn't write the final script. He didn't direct it. He didn't write it. So it's not 100% by James Cameron, which is really important. So don't expect a James Cameron movie. It's based off a manga, which is a Japanese comic book, and that's why you see the girl's big eyes, and it's called Gundam by Yukito Kishiro, put out between 1990 and 1995. And James wanted to make it in a movie. The material in the movie's from about half the series. And it's had a tough time. James started on it in 2019 years ago, and in 2003 he was working on it, but he ended up on Avatar instead. He said he wanted to put out Avatar because he thought talking about the environment was the most important thing. The movie was supposed to come out in July last year, but it got pushed back in February to December, and then again in September to February. And finally, after no more pushbacks, it's here. Now, this is the part where I get tough on this. It's time for the truth. James Cameron's pushing you to find out more about this girl, but I really don't care about her. There's a thing about her being an advanced weapon and finding herself, and she's being hunted, and she has to fight bad robots, which could make a good movie, but the way it all comes together just doesn't work. Everything's good, but for some reason it feels like there's something missing. There's nothing that makes you go, wow, I haven't seen that before. It all kind of looks like stuff put together from other movies. It really shows you how there's a line between good movies and legendary movies. This is a movie set up to be legendary, but it looks like Robert couldn't get it done. His name's all over the poster and trailer, and I think it shouldn't be anywhere. He messed up really big here. He got the job, I think, by looking over James' notes and a rough script and putting them together. He took the 3-hour script from James and made it 2 hours. And maybe James thought he did a good job, but in the end, it didn't make it over the line. James would have pushed the actors to their limits and fine-tuned that script to perfection, putting every little bit of energy he had into the movie until he got the biggest movie of all time. But it looks like he didn't want to commit to it, and maybe he couldn't with Avatar coming up. So, what do? He trusts Robert, which goes to show you how good James really is. There's really no one like him, and I don't know if you can really blame Robert or not, except for thinking he could do a James Cameron movie. You imagine if you brought any other smaller director on a Titanic or Avatar, it probably would have failed. And that's what's happened here. The movie's good, but with the type of movies James makes, with these risky, big idea movies that can go wrong in so many ways, like Titanic and Avatar, and even Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, you have to make one of the best movies ever made or crash. Because if it's not amazing, it crashes. And it looks like all the delays were because someone at the studio knew about it and they tried to touch it up or reshoot it because they sunk $200 million into it. Hopefully, James sees that he's the only one that can make these huge movies that make it over the line. Everybody else will probably fail. And if there's another legendary movie director who could have made it, he probably would have wanted to work on his own movie, like George Lucas or Peter Jackson, and not on someone else's. Legendary movies need legendary directors. This might be a fun movie to see with the family, though, with the effects and message, and I might see it again. But good's just not good enough here, and you can't help but feel this could have been the biggest movie of all time if James was on it. What do you think? Leave your comments below, check out my other videos, and subscribe.